My name is Bunny Freedman. They call me Bunny Freedman. The Bunny became Bunny. Okay, I'm named after Rav Avrohom. So I want to tell you what I'm doing here. I'm not part of the organization. I'm a volunteer. I have no skin in the game. But Yaakov came to my house. Rav Yaakov came to my house about 7 months ago. How to get to my house? My Rav Simcha Klein, said, Bunny, you ought to meet this guy. I said, what's it about? He said, he told me it's guard your eyes. I said, Rebbe, I gave you for a tag. You call me for this thing. He's big on this. And I said, I help you. So what should I give him? I don't have to meet. I know it's important. How should I give him 500, 1,000? He says, meet him. You'll find him very, very interesting. So I meet him in my house, and I'm listening to this. Now, my father was Rav Avrohom Abba Freedman, Alav Shalom, and he always talked about three influences in his life. The three influences were Rav Shaga Feivel Mendelowitz, who he was a Talmud of, Rav Chanan Wasserman, who came to New York and spent more than a year raising funds, and my father was Zoicha. Rav Shaga Feivel sent him to be his ma'arech to take him around, and I'm named after him. Yeah, so he used to talk about Rav Chanan all the time, and then there was a person that he put on a pedestal, like, I can't say bigger than those two, but we'd always hear about Mike Tress. What's the story, the backstory? My father was a Ish Kaddish, everybody was well known, but he wasn't always that way. Mike Tress pulled him off the streets of Williamsburg when he was about 12, 13 years old. He made him part of Sireh, and then he introduced him to Rav Shaga Feivel, and the rest is history. And he spent years working as a volunteer while he was in yeshiva, wherever he could, on Hatzala. And he used to always talk about Mike Tress and Hatzala. He's one man that stepped up. So I'm listening to this thing and hearing him talking. I started thinking about it, and this is Hatzala's Klal Yisrael. I mean, there was a different story in the 40s, and there's a different story now. So when he came to my house, he asked me for money, and I gave considerably above what I thought of giving, way, way more, and I made a commitment even further beyond what would be a normal expected, even for a very important mitzvah. More than I give the mitzvahs in Detroit and a lot of things. So what I figured out is that all the stuff my father was telling me is calling me right now, because this is the Hatzala. And I said, Yaakov, what's your budget? So I started talking to him. About 5 years ago, the budget for Guard Your Eyes, the entire budget was $350,000. When I was speaking to him, it was $1 million. Then he started describing me this whole 2.0 operation that is aiming to get 120,000 sign-ons. Let me tell you the background. To date, there have been 50,000 sign-ons on Guard Your Eyes online in 15 years. Today, they're signing on 10,000 people a year. And 1 second. I have had the pleasure of going. I've committed that I'm going to go to a number of cities. I was here for 8 days, and I'm going to have a bunch of cities that I'm going to go to. While I go with either Chaim, who is a coach, and Yaakov's a coach. They'll show me in a day about 15 sign-ups. And I'm telling you, I'm a man of the world. We're all men of the world. We all know stories and mitzvahs. And what you see on that line is hair-raising. I don't have hair to raise, but it would be hair-raising. And the stuff that you see there from Yeshiva Light is incredible. 10, 15 years ago, this wasn't happening. So I see this stuff. Like Yaakov described, I was crying when I saw it. There's a tzaddik, a Yosef tzaddik, who was being sharpened himself for 105 days. He falls, and you know what he thinks? He says, I think I'm an addict. That kills a person. They think they're an addict, and his life is ready after being 105 days clean, after I don't know how long he was on the program. He's falling, and Yaakov's coaxing him back and telling him a different chazal, and we were talking about what he should tell him and things like that. And the kid's coming back. I mean, this is the hospital. This is the Hatzala. So here's the deal. They have a plan based on what you heard on this tape and from other Gedolim that I heard speak to them, that they're not doing enough. They have to do 150,000. So they tell me our goal is to do 150,000. I start thinking, how are you going to do this? The infrastructure, the amount of coaches you got, it's going to be exponential. You need, and we sat down and figured what they would need going forward, and they'll need, with the low estimate is $3 million a year by the time they grow this thing. For instance, right now they're developing an app that people could just do a taste of it, and then you grow them a little, and then send them to the main site. So they're developing all these things. They just came up with a book, From Boys to Men. This book is a game changer. This has all the marmakrimus. This was written by Dr. Shlomi Zimmerman, and this is about how parents and mechanchim have to talk to their children on these subjects, and it's hard-hitting. And they don't mix anything, and it talks about all the problems that we're talking about here, how you address it, when a kid fails, what to do with Mara McComas. Rabbi Aaron Feldman and Rabbi Yosef Elephant worked on this. Anyhow, so I made big commitments. I made a commitment to go to 6 different communities with them for as much as a week. I'm in the middle of a lot of different things, but I'm going to take 6 weeks. I don't take any money. I don't charge them anything or for bills or anything like that, and I try and do it. I'm telling you, this is more than I'm capable of doing, or more than I thought I was capable of doing. Rabbi Sai, if you hear the problem, which many people have answered our call, I have not met one mechanech, one rav, or one rosh yeshiva that's on the ground working with communities that says, it's not so important, there's other things more important. I mean, they all think it's a chayv kaddish for everyone to get involved. And in my case, I saw it as a mic trust business that I had to answer the call. And I asked everyone in the room, we're talking about money here. We need a lot of money. They don't yet have the development of this world support of so many other things. And that's what we're trying to do. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Everybody, Klal Yisrael, thanks you from the bottom of my heart for being here today. And we hope there'll be many, many people that become mic trusters in this mission. Thank you very much.